Growth therapy. Oh my god, it's hot in here. Are you comfortable? Get comfortable.
I'm trying. This wire is just a piece of shit.
I know. I think just leave it. Is it bugging you?
No, it's just as long as it's not. Yeah, you're good. There you go. Boom.
All right. I mean,
fuck it.
Whatever. Fuck it. Oh my god, you guys, we've been having a lot of technical difficulties because we're not in my usual place, and we're here at an actual studio, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
And anyway, so hi guys, it's me, Stefanie Maegan, your host of Brocal Therapy, and guess the fuck what? Joey motherfucking Fernandez is back. You were on the show like 2 years ago.
That was 2 years?
That was 2 years ago.
Oh my gosh. I still look at that. Like I had that. That was one of my first IGTV videos. Was
really?
Me like, oh, I'm going to be on my friend's podcast. And that was 2 years ago.
That was 2 fucking years ago. Isn't that crazy?
The progression.
And that was like way back when I didn't even like video record my shit. Like it was actually like a podcast.
I remember that.
Like a video.
I tried. I filmed the whole thing.
And
I couldn't send it. I was trying to Dropbox it to you, and I'm like, dude, this file is just too big. It was like an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I still have it somewhere.
I feel like it's probably such a, like, the lighting was awful.
Oh, it was dark.
Like, we also had technical difficulties then.
Yeah. It was ultra dark. It was in your dungeon. You know, the little, like, concrete room.
The little basement.
And it was filmed, like, TikTok style, like, straight up and down.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of...
Oh, my God. Look where we are now.
Right? 2020.
2020.
Here we
in
are.
the middle of a pandemic, trying to, like, keep our distance, but at the same time make the dopest content ever.
The
dopest. Well, I have you on because I remember 2 years ago, you actually really helped me. I was getting over this, like, friends with benefit situation. And I honestly, like, I look back and I feel like I've grown so much as a person. And because I was just like so delusional, I'm like, why doesn't he like me? Like, I give him sex. Like, why doesn't he like me? And I remember you broke it down like, you know, sometimes it's actually more than just sex. It has to be more than that. I just didn't understand. I thought him and I had more, but no, it's because he just gave me a bunch of orgasms.
Yeah. Once you get that one orgasm, you just kind of, might be smitten, you know?
And it wasn't just one. It was like so many. And it was like, I was hooked.
And I think that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of women aren't used to that. So once a guy has actually tried and actually figured that out, because men are self-centered.
Very.
Especially in bed. There's just no doubt about it. And when you figure out how not to be, that's when it's like...
Yeah, and when they actually show that they want to please you...
so much better. It's like...
It's so mind-fucking, and I think that's why there's a lot of fuckboys out there.
Yeah.
I hate using that word, but I used it.
It's okay. I mean, I think it's a good term to coin those who... I mean, we all have that phase. Like, you call it the hoe phase.
Right.
We call it, you know,
the fuckboy phase. Yeah, the fuckboy phase, which is a man's hoe phase.
Right. And I also feel like fuckboy wasn't a thing for when I was in high school. When
we were in high school.
That's not what we called it.
We're old.
We're old. We don't call it, like, when people were like, look at that fuckboy, I think of those
We said
e-boys.
player. We said player.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's such a player.
He's such a player.
What is that? I don't even know what a fucking holding cards. Hey, Uno, bitch.
No kid nowadays like says like, oh my God, he's such a player. Like, they say fuckboy. Like, fuckboy is like the player.
Right. That's the new age. I don't know.
And okay, well, background story. If you guys didn't listen to the episode and you're just tuning in, Joey and I have known each other since high school. We weren't like necessarily the best of friends, but we hung out like in the same crowd.
Yeah.
We always just saw each other at parties, or you'd come over to my house parties. I had a bunch of house parties back in the day.
I mean, you used to live like super close.
Yeah.
I think, and then Marcelo, we're all friends. We're just a big group of friends.
And we just... And back then, Joey, your reputation was a fuckboy. Okay, no. You were a player.
I was a player, okay? Can we just like, can we switch it?
You were a player.
It's a different quality, okay?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have these apps. You couldn't just take there's a thing.
Yeah,
there's a
100%.
lot more work required to actually get women back then. And it wasn't just posting pictures because no one gave a shit about your MySpace.
I mean, I really gave a shit about people's MySpace. I gave a shit so much about my MySpace.
I gave a shit about the top 10 because if you dropped me one, I would probably going off myself. I don't know.
Right,
you know,
right.
Like
Yeah.
social anxiety for little kids is what.
Oh my God. The anxiety you would get if you got knocked off of someone's top 8, that was the biggest deal.
Especially your best friend. Could you imagine if that existed now? You know how many
kids
issues we would have?
Kids could never.
They wouldn't even know how to handle that shit. They'd be like, now you see someone making a TikTok with someone else and you're like, I'm jealous. Could you imagine being top 2 and now you're top 5? Like you're 5?
It's fucked up. Mm-hmm. I know, but I used to know how to like break the code. Back then we were all coders too.
Oh, yeah. HTML, dog.
HTML. We would like, I somehow knew how to make the code to make it longer than top 8, so it'd be top 16, so people's feelings wouldn't get hurt. Like you're still on there.
Made it to the list.
Yeah, you're on the list.
In.
Yeah, you're my
Don't
friend.
worry. Yeah.
Good times. But back then you were a player.
Yes. And it wasn't thanks to social media. It was actually the exact opposite. It was just honestly being around groups of people that you know, you get comfortable. You know, I didn't date a lot. And when I talked about it then, I didn't have a sex with a ton of women.
I know, but you were like a flirt.
Yeah. Big time. Yeah. That's I think you could coin me that.
Wait, you know what I just remembered today, but I
Oh no. When people remember shit. Okay.
I don't know. Do you remember this?
Okay.
Do you remember this?
I don't know.
I mean, we never hooked up. No. But you touched my boobs.
Did I touch your boobs?
Yes, you grabbed my boobs once. At a party, we were drunk. This was after high school.
I think most of this stuff happens after high school. Yeah. Okay.
To be fair, a lot of people have cuffed my boobs because when I was drunk, I'd be like, oh my God, feel my tits. And I don't even know how it went about how you just were like cuffing my tits. But nothing happened. We never kissed or anything, but you just cuffed my titties one time.
That is so weird. Because you know what's funny? I don't do that a lot.
No, yeah.
I don't think I ever go out in the open and just like cuff someone's
And
tits.
I don't do that anymore too. I don't have people just cuff. If someone just came up and cuffed my titties, I'd be so pissed.
Right.
But it was consensual. I don't mean to make it seem like you just
I wasn't just like, hey.
Right. It was like a consensual thing, which I don't remember how that happened, but it did.
It's probably that situation where it's like, cuff my titties.
Right.
Or everybody was doing it.
Right. Or you're just really drunk and we're just like, I don't know, here are my titties. And you're like, oh, can I feel it? Like, it was probably like a situation like that.
Yeah. And I don't. Dude, we drank way too early in life, I personally believe. That led to a lot of like talking to women. Alcohol is a social lubricant, you know? Mm-hmm. Especially when going out. I think picking up girls at bars is actually really, it's just an art to it. It's very fucking hard.
It's very fucking hard. Mm-hmm. You can't just buy a girl a drink.
That's not a thing.
The worst guys are the ones that buy girls drinks. You don't. I feel like it's a red flag if a guy buys me a drink before he even talks to me.
And some women, I feel as though like they like that guy because they're like, this guy's getting me a free drink.
But that's the thing.
For nothing. They don't like him.
Yeah.
But they're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, bring it on, man. Get me drunk and then I'm going to leave your ass. Because that shit doesn't work. You know what I mean? No, everybody, excuse me, everybody knows that shit doesn't work.
No.
I don't think I've ever gone up to a girl and was like, hey, can I buy you a drink? Like, there's no good way to do that. Dude, if I look like Liam Hemsworth or Chris Hemsworth,
I mean, you're a good looking dude, so it might work, but you know.
Nah, I'm too.
But at the same time, it just depends on who the woman is that you're approaching. Because it could be like someone like me where I don't like that shit. Like, I don't really like feeling cornered like that. But then there's like girls who do love that. You know, it just kind of depends. But that's the thing. You never know who the type of person you're approaching.
Right. I guess you just got to shoot your shot. It's kind of like anything in life. You just kind of spray and pray. Pray that you hit one, right?
Yes.
I don't know. Wow. That applies for so many things. Don't even take that out of context. But that's exactly what you do. You just go out and I never picked up any women going out. Oh, maybe like one or two. And that was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Most of the girls that I ever hooked up with in high school or even after that were because of friends, mutual friends, and then
at a party, a house party.
House party. House party is just how it happens. And then go to work. You go to work, you meet a whole new group of friends, and then you meet their friends.
And you were in the restaurant business, which everyone's like a hoe in the restaurant business.
The restaurant business is the dirtiest.
It's the dirt. I've heard some scandals and like people who work in restaurants. I'm like, God damn, that would never work. I work in PR. That wouldn't work in my
No, that was the craziest time of my life, is actually opening a restaurant. If you ever want to just hook up with people uncontrollably and not feel guilty about it, you open a restaurant, because it's like... You know what's weird? People are attracted to each other when they go through a certain amount of stress. 2.
Okay.
It's so you go through a certain amount of stress together. Like, that's why people at work end up hooking up, because they have so much relate to. At the end of the day, they go have their drink and they're talking like smack about the shit that just happened.
That's true.
The restaurant industry is just stress. You know, you get that, oh, I just had this lady like just totally bitch at me for not bringing her ranch, and then you kind of build that connection. It's a quick connection, and then you start hooking up. And you drink every night. It's not for the sober working in a restaurant. I mean, there are those who take it seriously and then they go home at the end of the night. Not us, no.
Yeah,
not me. And that's how I met most of the women that I hooked up with. I think a lot had to do with me opening a restaurant, and that was it's insane.
When did you open a restaurant? I don't know this.
Okay. Oh, here we go, at your house party, or you had people over back in the day. We were sitting down, and you were like, "Dude," because I didn't have a job, and you're like, Lucille's is hiring.
I said what?
And you said Lucille's is hiring. They're
shit.
opening up, and I was like, "Fuck!" I did the application at your house on your computer.
You
I'm
did?
pretty sure, yes.
Why don't I remember this?
I don't know.
Look at me! Like,
Yeah. You were like, "You should just apply there," and I'm like, "You're right," and I did, and I got the job, and I opened that restaurant as an expo.
Oh, okay. Wait, I do remember you working there. Okay.
And that's how it started, though. It was literally at your house. Jamie Way was sitting there.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
It was insane. And then that started this. That was the first taste I ever got of what it's like to work and meet people and like hook up with people in the restaurant industry.
So I pretty much started your hoe phase.
Yeah,
it's like a full circle. It's a full circle. Now we're here talking about it.
It was like a gradual thing. Like, high school wasn't that bad. I didn't have sex with a lot of people in high school. I was hooking up with a lot of people. I like making out. You know, like, it feels good to kind of just like hook up. You know, you grind a lot in high school.
Right.
A grinding thing through the jeans.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Oh, dry humping.
Dry humping
I loved dry humping. I was such a dry humping hoe. Like, I was all about it.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we all were. I don't know. There's something so, like, you felt naughty, but at the same time, you're like, I'm not doing anything bad.
Right.
It's just like
100%.
Dry humping was the best, and because you feel innocent almost, but you know.
But like know, like you're like about to cross the line.
Yeah. You're like,
but you're not really doing it.
Still in that nervous. Yeah. So right after that, literally just ramped up. It just got. I think I was just the most single. Yeah. That was the most single I ever was. I had sex with a girl in the woods.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's just like you do a lot of weird shit. They go camping. They're like, hey, you should head over after work. Okay, you do. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, you're both naked in the pitch black brush. Like, I had splinters in my knees.
Oh my God.
It was insane. Oh man, this is part we didn't even talk about this because the last time was like mostly just
about me.
It was about you. And then,
what I was going through.
And then my experiences through high school and then talking to women. But things just got crazy after that.
Were you like a loyal boyfriend back? Because I remember you being in relationships. Like, were you loyal or were you just in a very like bachelor mindset?
Back then,
like if it's like obviously when you're single, you hoeing.
Right.
But then when you would get into relationships, were you still hoeing? Like, were you faithful? Were you loyal?
One of the relationships. Oh nope. It was
Playa.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. I made plenty of mistakes. I got a list of mistakes everybody
it's
should
okay.
learn
I mean, we all make mistakes.
And I would
air it out.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take that Clorox and just sanitize this bad boy because we're getting through it, guys.
Yeah.
Basically, I started dancing too. Oh my God, I met so many people through dancing.
I remember you being a dancer.
Dude, I
vaguely remember that.
Just multifaceted kind of dude. That was before I started at Lucille's. So that, oh man, I don't even want to get into how insane that was. Like,
yeah, because like back then, if you were like a dancer, like you were getting pussy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Especially if you're on a dance team. Filipinos love that.
Filipinos love that shit.
They love that shit. And like when you're in a dance team, that's all you're surrounded by is Filipinos. And it's that same.
I love Filipinos.
Yeah. It's that same drive though. It's that same like restaurant vibe where you're all under stress. You're all trying to learn this choreography. You're all going through Hell Week together.
Yeah.
And then you all party together. It all leads down to partying.
And then that's where it all leads to dicking.
Just dicking them down.
Dicking.
Yeah. Oh, man. Just kidding. Hold on. We got off track when I started talking about the dancing thing. But we were talking about relationships, right? So during the whole dance phase, I did get into a relationship that was like the more serious one, I guess, before I turned 21.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was during dancing, and I didn't cheat on her at all. I think it was just more like I was too young. She had some stuff going on, and it was a respectable breakup. I did find myself feeling as though I wanted to go out and venture and be the bachelor that I was, because it's when you get a girl that hooks you, it doesn't always mean that that's the one. Maybe that's the one right now.
Yeah, because that's gonna say, because like that kind of leads to like maybe the advice I would want to ask you, or sometimes I come across is like I always tend to attract men who, you know, had a very, very fun hoe phase, like not just like a sprinkle of a hoe phase, like very similar hoe phase as you, where there was just like they just got into all these situations, people at work, and they had fun, especially because they were good looking, you know. Right. And when, you know, getting into relationships with them, there's a bit of like insecurity of like, okay, you love women, you know. And this is just me, because this is something maybe that I have to battle with, like trying to not be jealous.
Oh no, yeah,
you know,
for sure.
where it's like, you know, someone like I mean, I appreciate everyone having a hoe phase and letting, like, I want a man to be able to explore and have fun before he gets with me.
Right.
But I guess there is a bit of doubt where I'm like, how do I know I'm the one that made you, or I'm the one that you stopped doing those things with and you want to like settle down and be serious with, you know? Like, I feel like there is a bit of like, you know, like how you're saying, like, am I just the one that tied you down for now? Or are you actually, you know, like ready to do so? So it's kind of like, how can I tell if a man is actually, you know, just over, he's done with his whole phase? Like, I don't want to hold anything against him too. That's the thing. I don't want to be the girlfriend that's like, you know, you was out dicking before. I don't know if you still dicking when you with me. Like, I don't know.
You're gonna lock it down.
Like, you gonna really lock it down, or like, do I trust you? You know what I mean? Like, there's a bit of like, I don't know, because I don't know.
It's fear.
Maybe I'm just a little bit of like, I don't trust issues.
No. I don't think it is. Like, that's totally valid. But on my end too as well, like, I say that now looking back, but in the moment you think, you know, and I think it goes back to just how you feel in that moment. That person might have hooked you, but I was convinced. I was like, oh, I really like this person. But then that's when time takes over, and it's either you're gonna be upfront with each other and you're gonna talk about how the other person is feeling, or that guy's just gonna go back to the way he was and not tell you, and then it's gonna be called cheating. You know, it's having that open dialogue, I think, and being understanding of the other person's situation, even if it means you getting hurt, right? Yeah. But because it's better than you being destroyed by him cheating on you, or going back to the quote unquote hoe phase. But, you know, like, it was always a thing. It was kind of like, I knew, because if I was in a relationship and I saw something better, you know, grass is always greener. But is it? You know, that's how guys, I feel, sometimes think. They're like, they want to see the next best thing. And I don't think, personally, nowadays, social media doesn't help that at all.
No, not at all. It's even worse. Yeah, because you can just scroll on Twitter or Instagram and they can like some bitch's like picture, and you're just like, why? Right. What you trying to do with that? Why you like? Why the fuck you liking her photo?
She's my friend from high school, dude. What do you?
I'm like, she don't even follow you back.
Bitch. No, it's called support. You know, I support other influencers. You say, come on, that's what it's called. And you know what? But that's something I think we can all let go. I think instead of fighting somebody on that, you know, because we want to, because we love them. We want to be like, you're doing something wrong. You want to catch them in the act. You got to let them go. And if they're going to do it, just tell them, either have the conversation that it's got to end, which is the hardest one. No one wants to have that. No, that's why we're all in denial about it. That's why we all want to be like, I don't know if I'm crazy or what, but it's like, no, you just don't want to have that conversation in the future if he did do that.
I know, that's the thing. It's like in my head, sometimes I'll like, just like think of a story of like something that never even happened. Oh, okay. And I'll be like, what if, you know, what if this happened? Like, why would you do something like, I don't know. And I just go into a spiral, and then.
And it's okay. I mean, I think we've all been there and done that. It's fine.
It's okay. It's okay.
It is. You know what? I like to justify it as your body's reaction to something you know has happened, or somebody else's experience. Especially you being on the show, I'm sure you hear it all the time.
Yeah, and I've been the other woman. Right. That's the thing. You know, when I've you know, like back in my hoe phase, like I've definitely have hooked up with guys and then found out later he was with someone, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You know, like I'll see what dudes are doing when they're not with their woman. And so that's why I have that like insecurity where I'm like, okay, now I'm with the man. And okay, of course, like he had his fun because he enjoys women as men do. I'm, you know, a little like, well, I've seen him when, you know.
You were on the other end.
Like I've been on the other end way too many times. So now I'm just like.
Side chick.
Yeah.
Esque. But your reaction was proper, right? You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you know, you know. But yeah.
Right. But I mean, I think that's something that you personally gotta just deal with. I guess you know what I mean. Like, there's nothing that'll make it better. Maybe I actually need
therapy.
Yeah. No. Sometimes therapy is just understanding the situation that you're in and being ready for what might happen, but not over preparing yourself for what hasn't.
Right.
That's what we're doing. That's what a nightmare is, or whatever. It's your body preparing yourself for what you think could happen.
Right, but I don't even. Yeah, but it may not even ever happen.
It's not even real. It's not even real. It's like that's when you start. That's when the relationship starts going south. Is when you let that take over, right? Because then you sound like a crazy person,
right?
To him, or
I know.
to her, right?
to her, to
anyone. Like you just sound crazy because you're constantly thinking one thing, in hopes that thing never happens. But,
I know.
But just let it go. Just, you know. But
like,
it's hard.
if it happens, it happens.
Right.
I know. That's what I tell myself. It's like, the only thing that I can control is myself. I can't control other people. I can only control myself. So, in this case, I just have to kind of, you know, whether it's with this guy, the next, I feel like with any dude, I might feel this way. So, I just have to learn how to, like, trust.
Right.
You know.
And I still deal with that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you was a manho, you was a player, you out here thotting and bopping. You know what I mean? But now you've been in a serious relationship, and from what it seemed, I mean, I don't talk to you all the time, but from what I'm seeing on the internet is that you guys are in a really you're in a really happy relationship, and you've been loyal. You know, from what I'm assuming. I don't know. Have you been? I'm assuming you've been loyal.
And if I wasn't, I'd be open about it because there would just be no reason to hide it. We would have already discussed
like you don't have like your player vibes like you did before.
Yeah, no, those are dampened down. It's kind of like, nah, it's just not the same.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Being a hoe is a lot of work because you have to please, like, even if it's just a side chick or a hookup, like, you still have to please a bunch of people, and it's too much energy being put out everywhere, and it's just, oof. Eventually, it's fun when you're young, but when you get older and you have more responsibilities and bigger goals, you're just kind of like, ugh.
It probably comes on less. Like, you probably get less women if you're really trying to focus on what you're trying to do, trying to accomplish something. You really don't have time when you get older. You don't have time to be texting like 7 different people. You know how hard it is to just have a conversation with a friend now? Yeah. Like, if you're trying texting your friends, like, what are you doing?
Like, scheduling a FaceTime, it's like a whole, like, oh my God, it's a lot.
Are you free? Are you? No, that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's how I think dating progresses. It's like you tend, as your life gets busier and other things, like you're trying to like do better for yourself. You either need a stable relationship or you need to stay single and then find time to enjoy yourself when you can. Right. Yeah. But and dating apps have changed that game.
Oh my God.
Like, could you know?
Yes.
Yeah, she's like,
I've been doing this since 2013 or whatever.
All my experiences are all in person. None of them have been through an app.
But see,
I've downloaded it.
Yeah. Okay.
Never worked.
Never
ever worked.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you worked in like a restaurant business. You worked really out there with people. I was, like, I went to a fashion school, like mostly women. I, worked in fashion, mostly women. Now I'm in entertainment and PR, and it's mostly women. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm surrounded by women, and then the dudes around me were like all you guys from back home. You know what I mean? So it was just like I had to go online in order to venture out.
It's kind of good
or go to the bars, whatever.
Right. But even then, like, meeting someone at a bar is just kind of like you kind of know what you're getting into. Right. But when you go on Tinder and stuff, this is my question to you, because you've used it before. Like, what kind of interactions have you had? Have you met something
Several,
serious?
Yeah. Well, I've like dated guys maybe like there's one dude who was like at the most serious was like 6 months. There's one dude who was like on and off fucking for like 3 years, but nothing ever serious.
Oh, okay.
Serious.
Okay.
But I mean, the guy now that like, you know, everyone knows I'm in love with, Morgan, I met at a bar. I didn't meet online.
Dude,
yeah.
That's where me and Jessica met.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was at a point where I was like, this is the last place I'm ever going to meet someone
Same.
is at a fucking bar. Mm-hmm. But then you go to a bar and you meet this person and you're like, shit. And you're...
What bar?
It was Cabo.
Aw.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. Cabo Cantina over in Hollywood.
Oh my God. Yeah. I know which bar you're talking about.
The worst bar. And there was a fight that broke out and I was like,
oh my
dude,
God.
why? I don't even know if this is going to fucking work because this is just the shittiest place. When you meet people under circumstances like that, it's one thing to be a fuckboy. You meet people when they're drunk, but it's a next thing to get into a relationship with that person because it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Once you stop partying, you're different people.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about the one before this. It was just, it wasn't good because I loved hanging out and I loved drinking and I loved partying. That's our connection. Mm-hmm. Then when it all started to get serious and I started to get serious, you start to see some real colors. Like
100%.
Outside of the drinking, outside of the partying.
Like them as like a normal day-to-day human.
Yeah. And then you live with them and then you're like, oh, I fucked up.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. I moved in, my ex, I moved in with her.
Oh,
that was the whole, I feel
Wait,
like.
Jessica?
No.
Okay, I was going to thought you were still with her.
No, this is Mimi. This is like, this is 4 years ago now.
Okay.
And we moved in together and it's like, it was a little bit forced. That's when you learn the most about somebody, about anyone, your friends, your family. Never move in with your friends.
I moved in with my friends. We're doing just fine.
Yes.
But like, you know, but it like.
Heed that take that warning with a grain of salt then because it can work.
You kind of have to be at a certain place in your life. Like, I mean, there'll be times where I could tell she needs her space and I will just be in my room. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think it's just kind of like read the room, try to respect each other's like,
totally.
But
I totally agree with that.
But I'm sure we'll come across situations later on where it's going to be a little like, okay.
If you have to have the conversation, you can, but typically when people...
But most of the time it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I feel like most of the time it doesn't, and it's a wrong place in time. Like a lot of people want to move in together when they're young. They don't have responsibilities. They don't know how to clean.
Yes.
They don't know how to do anything, so they're disgusting.
They're like the first time moving out and it's like with a significant other and it's like you haven't learned how to live on your own yet, so you don't know.
Yep, and that's exactly how that failed. And on top of some personality traits that came out after, stopped drinking so much and whatnot, living together is just not. No, that's why I kind of took it slower, especially now, way slower. But that was like right after a huge hoe phase I had. I had like segments of hoe phases. Then I start dating someone back to the, okay, sorry to keep going back to this, but we keep skipping over it. But
yeah,
I did cheat on one of my girlfriends. She was 18 at the time, and I just turned 21.
Okay.
Anybody,
yeah.
Anybody who is 21.
Don't ever get in a serious relationship with someone who is 21 years old. I don't give a fuck.
Don't call it anything. Yeah. Don't call it anything. If you're fucking 27-year-old dude and you're dating a girl that's 21, get out.
Get out.
Because she does not. She just wants to go fucking party, go ham with her friends. Who knows? Maybe you get that one who's like.
But even then, that's a little shady.
Oh yeah. No. This is suspect. A little fucking like, we gotta look more into you.
Yeah.
But no, that's exactly what it was. So I just turned 21, and all my friends turned 21. Our friends. Mm-hmm. So
we were out going to Volcano. I remember getting blacked out drunk with you, Joey. And I remember you would tell me, like, I'm training you to fucking drink. And I would try to drink as much as you guys. And I couldn't hang.
Oh, the Captain Morgan and shit.
Oh, my God. I could not hang. Do you remember we, like, got drunk at the park next to my house?
It was me and Jason.
I blacked out with throw up in my hair. And I couldn't find my phone, and I'm looking I looked everywhere for my phone. I opened the front door, and you guys put it in a pot at my front door, and I was like, how the fuck did this happen? I had no idea.
It was bad. Oh, no, it was me and Marley.
Who's Marley?
Exactly. No, I think it was Marley. I don't know, dude. I know it was someone you didn't know, and we were just like, we're gonna fucking get drunk, and it was right at...
Oh, I want to throw up.
I was just at that park, and I'm like staring at that parking lot. I'm like, Jesus, can't believe we did that shit.
I know.
Can't believe it.
It was so stupid.
But that's what you are when you turn 21. I think that's where your headspace is. You want to go have fun. You want to go have partying. And when you're 18, you do want to do the same thing.
You just can't.
You just can't. And that's when it's like game's off. Like when I'm at the bar, you're stuck at home because you have to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not thinking about who I'm in a relationship right now.
Right.
Especially when the alcohol starts flowing, like people change, man. I don't care.
Yeah, especially
how
when you're
strong
like,
you are.
for me, like I didn't, I started drinking around 2021, so I was new at it. So I was just stupid and making out with everyone at a bar. Like I would make out with everyone.
That's late. That's real.
Yeah.
We were drinking when well before that, right? Like
I just had really
grade,
strict parents, and then my high school boyfriend like didn't allow me to drink. So around like 2021 was when I started drinking.
When you drank with us in that parking lot, was that
I was 21 already.
Okay,
I was 21, yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, but that was one of the only times I cheated really hard.
Okay,
like a lot.
With the girlfriend you had at that time.
Yeah, it was only about 6 months, and I just couldn't do it. That's when I started my clothing line, so I started to get really
I remember
busy.
that.
Yeah. And I was like, shit, I'm just starting to get busy. I can't keep doing this. It just doesn't feel right. Mm-hmm. So I had to break it off, and she didn't know. She had no clue. I feel bad. Like I totally thinking back on it.
You were a fuckboy about it.
Just 100%, just a player. Grab that wild card because who knows what the fuck you're gonna get next. Nah. Yeah.
Okay, but so you're with Jessica now.
Yes.
Shout out to Jessica. What if? Hey girl. I don't even met her before, but hey girl.
Oh, yeah.
So and you are, in a happy, loving relationship. Like, does she ever get? I'm curious. Does she ever get, worried about like how you were a fuckboy before? Like, if you like, does she get a little bit jealous? Like, how do you make sure that you reassure her that you're not in that phase anymore?
Arguments.
Okay.
Arguments. It leads to an argument because it happens. It happens. That's why I don't, when I get into a relationship or when I'm talking to somebody, it sometimes isn't best. They always want to know your number. They always want to know your number. Don't ever fucking tell them your number. Do you know what I mean? Like the number of people you've been with.
Oh no.
Don't
Oh
ever
my God.
fucking
I
tell
don't. Yeah.
A woman or a guy. I mean, I'm indifferent. I've heard it. I've heard the number, and I never cared, but that's maybe just me.
I know my man's number is way too fucking high for me. I do not want to know. I do not want to know.
The counter.
I low-key asked him kind of recently. I was like, what is it? And he's like, I kind of have to count. I was like, you know what? No, I don't even want to know. Don't even fucking tell me. Like, I just
using your toes and shit to count.
I was like, I know. I was like, oh my God, you got to think about, I was like, do you even remember? Like, oh my God. And mine's 15.
Oh, wow. You can count them all.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's weird. 15 is an odd number because 15 is like, it's not little, but it's not a lot at all. So it's kind of just like okay.
No, 15, any number that you can just blatantly remember that's not like 50, I think is reasonable.
What's
like
your number,
10,
Joey?
I don't know.
Just kidding.
One day, this is what I used to do. Like right before I went to bed, like, I don't know, a long time ago, I would just sit there and kind of just think and I would separate the hookups, like just making out and grinding and having sex and fucking people. And it's like, and then I would just go to sleep. I was like counting sheep.
Oh my God.
I was like counting fucking sheep. It was like, 1, 2.
I know. I was honestly trying to think the other day how many guys I've given head to, and I don't even remember. Not that I've given head to a lot, but I feel like there's probably some that I don't even remember.
Whoa.
I don't, trust me, I haven't given head to that many dudes.
Well, it's just interesting that it's a separate thing. Like, because I guess it's because it's easier to give head. In a car, I can't eat someone out in a car.
Yeah.
So like a head count.
And guys just like to whip out their dick and be like, give me head. Stupid. I don't like really open my legs and be like, I mean, I do. Let's be real.
Yeah. You can be
actually,
honest.
Reel
it on back.
But yeah.
But that's just, I would, dude. Don't ask, don't tell, move on, start from there. Right?
Yeah. But then like that would, maybe I'm just psycho, but like even the fact that like, a man's going to be like, I don't want to share it with you. I'd be like, oh my God, I just freak out. I need help.
How did
she
because that's totally honest. That's an absolute reaction.
Right.
Somebody would absolutely say that. What did
like,
she
wow, say? Really? Like you don't even want to tell me like it's that much? Wow. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I've had that reaction. I kind of just brush it off. Like, it's not important. Like, you know what it is? I'm not going to ask you.
Yeah.
I think but girls insist sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
I think for me in my situation.
There's some girls who like definitely want to know, and I'm like, it's like for me, it's like I'm curious, but at the same time, I know whatever number it is, just the fact that you've been with another woman before me is gonna upset me.
Right. Like, that's different. That's like, what you mean? What you mean you were in a serious relationship for 6 years? What the fuck is that shit?
No,
you gonna go call her again?
It's so weird. Like I'm like, oh my, because this is the first time I've cared for someone as as much as I care for him in 10 years, so I don't know why. I'm just like, this is all like new feelings that I'm trying to like understand. I'm like, what, you've been with someone before me? Like, what the fuck?
There was no before me.
like you've kissed someone before me? Like you've hit on other girls before you've hit on me before? Like,
the worst is seeing them. So don't worry. As long as you can't see them.
Yeah, I know.
They're not in your head. You know
Ladies,
what I mean?
do you guys do this too? Like, I know I'm crazy, but is anyone else like there with me?
I want to say that that's a big fat yes.
Okay.
I think we've all done it.
Right.
I've done it before, no, not recently. Not to Jessica.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
I completely trust her. If she doesn't want to trust me, I totally get it. I'm on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Who's this? Who's that? Ask your questions, but let's not allude to the fact that I am still what I would say is kind of like a piece of shit. Like, I'm going to go do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
but I guess it just, like, I'm sure she's seeing, like, your loyalty. Like, I mean, just even being around you, like, the player Joey vibes is not here. It's just Joey.
Right. Well, sometimes the way I talk to women totally sounds like that. And if you're
like
drunk,
nice,
and if you're drunk, like when she's drunk, who is that? Why don't you go hang out with her? And I'm like, ow. I would never do that. Ow. It stings. Like,
but do you kind of feel a little flattered when she gets a little jealous like that? Like, you have to have a little bit of like,
not
when it goes overboard, but a little bit. Like a little bit of jealousy, I think is kind of cute.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know how much is a little bit because I don't know. I've been in bad situations where it's just never good, right?
Right.
So I've never thought that was a good thing.
Okay.
I'm just like, shit, we're out having a good time. Why do we have to go do this?
I mean, I guess I like when they're just like, oh, like if he gets like a little curious if I've ever like hooked up with whoever, you know what I mean? Like, and even though it's like a big fat no, it's kind of like, I don't know.
I think my shit situation is that I hooked up with a lot of close friends. Right? Not had sex, but like
cuff their tits.
Yeah, that's why like cuff their tits. It's like, like we said, as long as you don't see them, but if you see them,
right,
you're thinking like,
that's true. That's true. I will never see them, but she,
yeah,
ooh, I'd go crazy if I was your girl. I'd be like, you what? No, I wouldn't be like a bitch, but I'd
You do the thing.
I would be like the. Nah.
Oh yeah, hi,
like
nice
I would try to
you.
keep it cool, but like deep down, I'm like, fuck him. I just smile it off, even though I'm like burning inside.
And I don't think there's any way to get over that. I think it just has to be trust. I'm okay with it. Like, honestly, if I really had a big issue with it, I would just call it off. Right?
Right.
It would be the mature thing to do now. When you're a kid, you're like, I don't know, but I miss her, because your feelings are more towards like, you miss having someone around.
Right.
You don't care who it is.
You just want like a warm body.
Yeah, exactly. Women, like, don't fall for that. When you're on and off hooking up with a guy, don't think he's just like wanting to take you back.
Right.
That's not a thing.
No, he's just lonely.
Yeah, lonely. And in a dry streak.
And he just wants to see if he could get you back.
Right. Or it's a game, right?
Mm.
But I mean, you can't blame them. They're really young. Usually,
so I have a question, right? Because I came across this TikTok, and there was this girl who said this, and she's actually younger than me, so I was a little like, power to you, girl, because I didn't know this at your age, probably. So she was saying, so when people break up, the man is up here and the girl is down here. If a guy breaks up with a girl, the man is up here, the girl's down here, meaning he's feeling good, he's empowered, he's like, yeah, I just got out of this relationship, I'm good, I'm ready to be single, hang out with my boys. And she's down here feeling like, like really upset about it, probably her self-esteem is a little low, and then she builds her self-esteem with time and trying to be like, no, I got this, I'm a bad bitch, I can get over him. And then they kind of meet in the middle, where he's on top feeling the world, and he kind of starts feeling like he misses her a little bit while she's feeling really good and climbing to the top. And then they get to a point where he's like, damn, I'm gonna call her. And so this is where the test comes in, right? And he'll call her, and if she picks up and falls back into the trap, he goes back up, she goes back down, into the whole fucking cycle over and over again. I believe in that. I believe in that.
I've been through that, but I've been through that as...
Yeah.
No. Well, okay, look.
I think so. There's been so many fucking times where I like, well, you know, a guy will ghost me or whatever, or like not talk to me, and then, you know, I'll like be upset about it, and then I try to get better, and as soon as I'm feeling good, I'm living all my life, I'm not thinking about him, he hits me up.
I think it's the way you go about it, because if he's hitting you up and you're okay with it, if you're feeling yourself and you're like, I could deal with a hookup, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's where the test comes in, right? Because you could talk to him, and then you could really fall back down to fucking where you started. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Versus like you may be here and be like, you call, you know, pick up, or if you don't pick up, whatever, you might feel good about it. It won't mean anything. And that's where the test comes in, and you keep going. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I think it depends. I mean, women have done that to men for sure.
Right.
You know, it's happened, but I don't think men can come back from that.
That's what I'm saying.
Men can't come back from here. Like they'll go and I feel like they usually just drift off.
Right.
I don't know. In my personal experience, I don't know. Like if I've been broken up with, or I've never actually been broken up with.
Damn, Joey.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can't relate.
No, I can't relate. I can't relate.
Like,
in that
that's
sense.
what I'm saying, because I feel like a lot of times I mean, girls definitely break up with dudes, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a lot of times the girl is most likely going to get heartbroken.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where she was kind of coming from, and also she's a woman, so she's speaking from a woman's perspective.
That's true.
But yeah, I feel like...
I mean, if I've ever gone back to talk to an ex, I was probably drunk.
Yeah, drunk, just lonely, kind of bored, a little horny.
Yeah, exactly. It's a combination of those things, but I don't think there was ever a goal to like bring them back down to where they were.
But I think y'all kind of check in on us just to see if like, can I get in a little bit? Just to see if she'll like be down again. You know, there's a little bit of like, I wonder if I could get her attention again. And then once you do, it's like your ego goes back up, and she, you know, goes back to where she started. That's an interesting way of thinking about it. I mean, yeah, I don't think I think it happens to me all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I love it where, I mean, there's been times too where I'm like, they'll hit me up and I'm like, nah, like I'm not interested at all. And then that's when they're kind of like missing me more a little bit and kind of want, you know what I mean? And then
playing the hard to get.
Yeah. I'm not even playing hard to get. I'm just over it. And that's when they're just kind of like, oh, like, you know. Right. Or there'll be times where I will fall back into it again, and they kind of go back to ghosting me because they're like, oh, okay, I got her still. I got her where I want her.
Right. I think that is that whole fuckboy phase.
That is, like, that's for sure.
I mean, if we're speaking about that, that's what I did every single time. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it was definitely a time that I was feeling good about myself, for sure.
Right.
But it wasn't for the purpose of making the girl feel bad at all, right?
Right.
It was either to stop the pain or just like, I need to move on.
Right.
You know? And I don't think I ever went back to just test. It was just kind of like, I'm bored, I'm this, I'm that, I'm lonely.
Right.
Right? And I'm sure women have done it too.
Yeah.
But it takes a certain guy to allow that to happen too. Just like it
takes a certain girl to allow that to happen as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
it's just a fucking game. I'm sick of it.
No, that's exactly what it is.
I'm so tired of games.
It's all just an emotional mess is what it is.
Toxic.
I think it all comes down to like caring more about yourself at some point, which I've never understood until recently, until I was older. It's like, you know, everyone's like, gotta love yourself before you can love someone else. Until you feel whole without another person, that's when that shit will never matter.
Oh, 100%.
You're always on.
Right.
You want to be with me? Cool.
If you don't want to be with me, then
cool.
Right.
I'm still doing my shit.
Right.
You might feel emotional, you might feel bad.
Yeah.
But I think that's just part of growing up.
Right.
You know? And
I agree.
I don't think it's a battle. I don't think it's one up here, one down here. You know, I think women are more emotional just naturally. Men can be too. Like, don't get me wrong, but women are more emotional naturally. And when they get broken up with, it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you any less of who you were. I don't think it makes you here. I think it makes you right there with him because you're actually able to display your emotions while he's over here just getting drunk, feeling like he's on one.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a negative side to, I think, I I call it self-destruction, like the male's perspective. Like after breaking up, I did nothing but bad things as far as like just destroying my body, getting drunk, working out, fucking trying to hook up with girls. I don't think that's progressive at all.
No.
You know? And instead of really thinking about what I did, I suppress it with alcohol. And girls get to it at a certain point too, I think, right? You start going out with the girls again. You start doing them.
Oh yeah, going out wearing less more, something that Drake song and fucking it up.
Yeah. I think it's a realization that we
Right.
are different. It's not, I don't think we're out to get each other.
No, it's just we're all just trying to figure ourselves out.
Right.
I mean, that's what the hoe phase is all about, and I've said this before on the show, is really just a time to explore yourself. Yes, sexually, but even just explore yourself like emotionally and explore what you want and what you don't want. And I think that it's a time to kind of, you know, we play around and we fuck up and we make up and we, you know.
I think we take advantage of the hoe phase. It's way, now that we talk about it,
Yeah.
it's really important.
It's
to
really
get
important.
to know yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, like it took me such a long time to understand all that because you're just stuck in this high.
Right.
You're just always on and you're like, dude, this is the most fun. It's kind of like doing drugs.
Oh yeah.
And what happens when you do too many drugs? There's always like withdrawals. There's always problems. If you don't learn from your mistakes, they just continue to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
know.
a hoe phase is just I mean, we're always gonna make mistakes, no matter
Right.
what phase you're in. But a hoe phase is a time to make mistakes, and it's also a time to, like, I think, if you know, I mean, men shouldn't be fuckboys all around. We all, you know, whatever. We should all be nice to each other. But at the end of the day, I think we should be a little bit more like understanding of, like, just as much as I'm going through it, this person is going through it too. You know, and I don't know. I
No,
just think that just to look at it in a general way, that we're just, you know, we're all hoes.
I think, yeah. No, we're all
We all
hoes at some
hoes.
point. That's a great explanation and way to put it, because I think at some point, what our biggest thing is between men and women, or men and men, or anybody who's
Right.
trying to date and going through the hoe phase, is that we never stop to think what is going on with them.
No.
Doesn't matter.
No, you're like, I can't
You're-
believe you did this to me.
Right.
Why did you ghost me?
We are so self-centered on both ends.
Right.
And I think that is part of the learning process. Like, we don't know how to communicate with each other.
No.
We're like, or we're like, yeah, fucking, let's go.
Right.
Like, that's not communication.
No.
When you get older, though, that shit happens. You know, you sit down and you talk like adults and you get over things, or you don't, and you just separate. But people don't know how to. When you're 21, you're just like, I don't know how to tell this person that I just don't want to be with them. So I'm just
Right. So I'm gonna just leave.
yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta go. Right.
Right.
Because you're not you just.
I mean, they're a coward, but just know
Coward.
that they're like, this is just a part of their hoe phase.
But I think, you know, when
Like,
you're younger,
hoes are cowards.
I've been ghosted before by women.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel fucking good at all, because you question, like, what's wrong with me?
Right.
And so I'm sure women feel that way all the time, but it's like, you definitely become stronger because of it. Just don't let it change you being open to new things.
Right.
Even with people
That
who are
part.
willing to change, right? People who you know have been with a lot of women doesn't mean that they're not willing to change. It's just, are you going to be the one to give them that opportunity? Right.
Oh, thanks, Joey.
Oh, yeah.
That was
of
really, like,
course.
positive.
Come on.
Well, any last words before we wrap this up? We're running out of time.
Oh, snap. No.
Yes.
Use your hoe phase wisely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man or woman.
Man or woman.
Use it wisely.
And I wouldn't take it too seriously, you know?
Yeah.
Try and understand. Try your
Live
best.
in the moment, but not in a way where you neglect everything that's happening, if that makes any sense. Where, like, you live in a moment, but actually really analyze the moment at the same time.
Try
you know?
your best at least. Like,
Yeah.
And love yourself. 100%.
Oh,
That's a weird-
100%.
One thing I wish somebody told me was like, you should.
I didn't understand what that
Yeah,
meant
no
back
one,
then.
No one knows.
Right.
What do you mean? Of course,
my-
I'm not killing myself, so I want to
Right.
love myself. Like, what do you mean?
Like, I'm doing my hair and makeup. I love myself. What the fuck are you talking about? Has that, you know?
Don't let somebody ghosting you. Don't let a fuckboy. Don't let a hoe face keep you from understanding that you can move on and there are people out there.
Yeah.
That's it.
100%.
Keep trudging through the dirt.
Yes, you got this, bitch.
Get it.
Okay, well, do you want to plug yourself?
Oh, yeah. If you guys want, you can follow me on Instagram, the Chino Suave, or on TikTok, Chino_cooks. Let's go.
Oh my God, his food looks so good. You'd put like the Cheeto thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a Cheeto series.
Oh my God.
I did fried chicken today.
Really?
Oh my God.
Cheeto fried chicken, like hot Cheeto fried chicken?
Hot Cheeto fried chicken, killer.
Why didn't you bring any?
You know what? I was literally on the phone. When we were on the phone yesterday, I was like, should I bring food? 'Cause that would totally just be cool.
That would be,
Would it be weird? Like,
no, I mean,
thing?
anything
Like,
hot Cheetos, I'm fucking down for.
Next time, then.
It's okay. Next time.
Yeah.
All right. Did you plug everything already?
Oh,
You
yeah.
good?
It's good.
And then go follow me, Stefanie Maegan, or go to brocotherapy.com. All that shit is there. Love you guys. Bye. Growth therapy.